So hopefully you were able to successfully complete your performance task thinking sheet yesterday. You were supposed to watch the video, and then remember we were sequencing the events in the story, making sure we include feelings, action, dialogue, lots of detail so that we can come up with eventually a summary of Aunt Flossie's hats. Now, you might not have already done this, or you may have. But remember, when we sequence, we want to have transition words. I didn't ask you to do that, but now, right now, while I'm talking, you might be able to plop in a good beginning, middle, and end sequence word. So, at the beginning, or first, what was the first hat that the girls pulled out that Aunt Flossie talked about? Do you remember? The woolly green hat, right? So you should have this written down. If for some reason you don't, or yours is not the same as mine, I need you to make sure you are changing it. Now, I'm going to tell you what I always tell all my friends. As long as you have the same idea as mine, that's fine. Your words might not be exactly the same as mine, and that's okay. As long as it's pretty similar, I'm okay with it. If it's totally different and you have a black hat here, no. You need to make sure that the important details are the same. All right, so what was the event? Do you remember the event with the green woolly hat? And you did this last week too, or a couple weeks ago, in your notebook, but it was the what? The Baltimore fire. So this part probably was pretty easy for you just from your schema, from your memory, right? But then I want you to dig in deep to the feelings, the actions, and the dialogue. So let's go back here, and I'm going to reread this page to you. On Sunday afternoon, I picked out a woolly winter hat, sort of green, maybe. Aunt Flossie thought for a minute. Aunt Flossie almost always thinks for a minute. Is that an action? She thought for a minute. So right now, you did not have to write in complete sentences. You could have kind of bulleted it. You could have written it in a complete sentence. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. But she thought a minute. What did she do? Do you remember what she did after she thought for a minute? Then she sniffed the hat. Do you remember why she sniffed the hat? What did it smell like? My marker is kind of dying out, so I'm going to get my purple one real quick. Oh, I guess I don't have my purple one. All right. Why did she sniff it? What happened next? Would this be good dialogue? Just a little smoky smell now? If you don't have that dialogue, I need you to write that one down, okay? And then, so we've done a good job. We've done a great job with the actions. She thought for a minute. She sniffed the hat. We have dialogue, which is like super duper third grade summary writers include dialogue. So if you included that, kiss your brain. Now let's think about the feeling. They included a feeling. Do you remember what the feeling was? I'll read it to you. Worried about Uncle Jimmy's grocery store. Worried about the terrapins and crabs. Big fire in Baltimore. So what was her feeling? Worried, or you could have done scared. So this is exactly what yours should look like, similar to mine. If you don't have pretty much all this information, you need to make sure you add what you don't have. All right, so then what's another sequence word? What was our next hat? Next. Could we do next? What was the next hat? You remember? The dark blue one with the red feather. Those are great details to include. So dark blue with a red feather. Okay, and you should probably be able to remember what was the event. The parade, right? The parade for the soldiers. Now, let's think about feelings, actions, and dialogue there. Aunt Flossie closed her eyes and thought for a minute. So this time she closed her eyes and thought for a minute. Okay, what else? Oh, this dialogue might be pretty similar to a feeling too. See if you got this. Oh my, yes, my, what an exciting day. You could have written that dialogue, or you could have written that feeling. Excited, right? I like the dialogue on the next page. Big parade in Baltimore. Oh, parade, said Sarah. We love parades. I made that hat, Aunt Flossie said, to wear to watch that big parade. I like that. Do we agree that's pretty good? That includes a lot of important details for the parade. All right, and then the last, I'm not even meaning to do it, and I'm just sequencing right when I say it. The last hat, do you remember the last hat? Which was my favorite. What hat was that? The big straw hat with pink and yellow flowers. All of those details need to be in there. So if you just put big straw hat, you need to make sure you include, I'm gonna pull you down just a little bit. Make sure you include, the colors of the flowers too. All right, so what was the event there? So think about this. The first two were way in Aunt Flossie's past. The girls weren't there yet. But if you look, it's more in the present time because the girls are there, right? Where did they go? The park? And you might have even included the event was a little bit more than just the park. What was the event? So we might say, at the park, what happened? The hat flew into the pond. So this isn't just Aunt Flossie's memory on this one. This is with the girls, with Sarah and Susan. All right? So what were some feelings, some actions, some dialogue? What did you come up with? Okay, well, the hat flew into the pond, and here's some dialogue, and you could have done some other things. My favorite best Sunday hat, said Aunt Flossie, or it was funny. So actions, what happened? Feelings, what happened? What dialogue did you have? So feelings, we could say it was funny, right? What do you think? How do you think Aunt Flossie felt? Maybe kind of upset because her favorite hat. And then what was the actions? Do you remember? Daddy, what did Daddy do? Dad tried to reach it and fell in the what? The mud. And then how did they get rescued? Do you remember? The dog jumped in. Gretchen, and great summary givers, summary writers, include the names of the characters. So Gretchen the dog. Oh, what's the vocab word? What did Gretchen the dog do? She got it, but what was the vocab word? Do you remember? Retrieved it. Okay, so this is what you should have had for the beginning, the middle, and the end, the events that were in Aunt Flossie's hats. All right, so we are going to use this to write our summary next. So remember, eventually you're going to be doing all of this. You're going to be coming up with the sequencing, and then you are also going to write a summary. So all of these that you're writing in your notebook are good examples and expectations of what we are going to expect you to do on your own in a couple weeks. All right, I'll talk to you soon when we do our summary. Bye.